Using that same glass, we'll just make a Cadillac margarita, which is another popular drink, which is kind of like the Cadillac of cars. This is going to be the Cadillac of margaritas, the best of margaritas. Calls for a premium tequila, and the thing that's going to make it a Cadillac is actually something we call Grand Marnier, which is orange liqueur / cognac. Has a really distinct flavor to it, and this is how you really distinguish that it's a Cadillac margarita. We'll say this drinker didn't want a salted rim, so we'll just go ahead and build. Now I want to use a premium tequila. Usually there'll be a few different choices you can choose from. Whatever's on your top shelf, you'll be allowed to use for your Cadillac margarita. And usually premium tequilas, they have corks on them, so you'll be forced to use your bar jigger. Once again, the big side of our jigger is 1 1/4 ounce. When using the measuring tool, the jigger, you want to always pour over the cocktail. And that way, if you ever spill, it goes straight into the drink and not waste. What you want to avoid doing too is pouring these like over here and try to balance it all the way to the glass. So when using the jigger, just keep it right next to the glass, pour over the cocktail as soon as you get to the rim. Make sure you get all that premium tequila out of there. And just like the regular margarita, we're going to use a fresh squeezed lime wedge, which I can squeeze right in there, drop it. Just like the other margarita, sweet and sour almost to fill. And now we're going to use a Grand Marnier float. If I'm going to float the Grand Marnier, I want to mix the drink first. And then we're going to float the Grand Marnier. Right on top it goes. And once again, we float the alcohol for effect, for smell, and you could actually see that the Cadillac margarita has a nice float on top. All right, some other popular drinks. I'm going to skip around a little bit here, but on the second column of page 34, let's make a Tom Collins. We'll be using a Collins glass for this. Once again, that cylinder tall glass. I want to fill it up with ice first. Now, more importantly, you know what a Collins is. It could be a vodka Collins, a Tom Collins, creator of the Jim Collins or the Gin Collins. It could be a Jack Collins, a Jim Collins, a Jose Collins. I think you're kind of catching what I'm talking about here. Collins simply means 50% sweet and sour and 50% soda water. This happens to be a Tom Collins, so we're going to be using gin, a house pour or 5 count or 1 1/4 ounce. And now once again, I can go what I think is 50% sweet and sour and 50% what I think is 50% soda water. Or now I can start multitasking these gun buttons. I can hold sweet and sour and soda at the same time, and I know I'm getting 50-50. Pushing them at the same time, I know I'm getting 50% soda water and 50% sweet and sour, and that's your basic Collins cocktail. All right, another one we're gonna focus on, that's popular out of the cocktail selection, is the Blue Hawaiian. Now the Blue Hawaiian can go into a hurricane glass or a tall glass. I'll demonstrate this one in a tall glass for us. Now, it has the word blue in there, so we know we're going to be using blue curacao, along with rum, light rum. It's going to get a full ounce of each. 4 count and 4 count. And it has the word Hawaiian in there. Usually when they say Hawaiian, they're referring to pineapple juice. Once I got all the ingredients in the glass, I want to take the time to mix this one. Another mixing style is the capping technique. Just give it a little love tap. Back and forward 1 time. That's enough to mix the cocktail to give yourself the Blue Hawaiian. Very tasty drink. All right, let's learn the Hurricane. This is on the second column of page 33, second drink down. We'll actually use a Hurricane glass for this one. We'll go ahead and ice it up first. Now, when I think of the Hurricane, I think of white and dark clouds forming, like a hurricane forming. In this scenario, light rum and dark rum is an easy way to help you remember this one. It's going to get a full ounce of each, light and dark rum. And before it's a hurricane, I know if it's a tropical storm, and usually when we're referring to tropical, it's a combination of pineapple and orange juice. And actually what we can do is grab the grenadine now, and you can sprinkle the grenadine on top, and it breaks up the density, and you can actually get grenadine to float whereas it wants to sink because it is very dense. And what we got here is another layered cocktail. Once again, very beautiful, Has that nice full body of the dark and light rum, orange from the pineapple and orange juice, and then the red from the grenadine. So another fun cocktail to layer. Very much so has the same effect as that Mai Tai, that Monkey See, Monkey Do effect. A fun thing we like to do with the hurricane drink is add the high proof rum. And we call this a category 5 hurricane. All right, second column, last drink down. Well, in fact, let's go to the French Connection. This is on page 33, fourth drink on the first column. French Connection is another popular one, kind of like your digestif cocktail. You have certain cocktails that are aperitifs or digestifs, so you probably want to drink this one after your dinner, your main course. We'll actually be using a snifter glass. A cognac and Grand Marnier, straight into a snifter glass, a little 3 count of each. And this is how you serve the French Connection. This is also what we call perfect or neat, once again, for the vocabulary term. All right, let's make some shooters. For all these shooters, we're going to be using the rocks glass. We're going to be shaking and straining them from the tin into a rocks glass. And the reason why we use the rocks glass for these shooters, because these are actually what we call mixed shooters. All these shooters are going to get at least 1.5 ounces of alcohol. In addition, a splash of a mixer. And then we're going to shake them with ice, which is going to dilute them even more. It's going to bring their liquid count to about 3 to 4 ounces. So there's no way we can fit all these ingredients into a normal shot glass. That's where the rocks glass comes into play for our shooters. The first one we're going to learn is the Alabama Slammer. For the Alabama Slammer, we're going to use 1 count of sloe gin. Sloe gin is a gin-based liqueur flavored with blackthorn plum. We're just going to use a little 1 count there. We're going to use a 2 count of amaretto and a 3 count of Southern Comfort. 1, 2, 3. Now it's not an Alabama Slammer unless you have a splash of orange juice. And now, like the rest of these shooters, we're going to shake just like we would a martini, but we're going to strain them into a rocks glass. And this is your mixed shooters, and that's how you make an Alabama Slammer. You know, mixed shooters have become a very important part of the bar scene. They're quick for sales, they go down really fast, they help boost your check average up higher and higher, and if you can get your regulars to buy them for each other, you know, you're just having check averages go up and up and up, which in a sense is going to help your pocket at the end of the night. So not only has it become important for bartenders to suggestively sell these shooters, but as well for the bar owners. It brings in so much revenue because these are not cheap drinks. You know, the Alabama Slammer, believe it or not, $8, $9, $10 depending where you are. Here in the West Coast, that is. They tend to get a little bit cheaper mid the United States, and once again, just as expensive on the East Coast. So these have really become a huge part of the bar scene for not only bar owners, but bartenders as well. The next one we're gonna learn is the applesauce, a very tasty shooter. The same concept, rocks glass, shaker tin, halfway with ice. I'll be using an apple pucker along with the Goldschlager. That's going to be 3 count of each, 3/4 ounce. Once again, the Goldschlager is a cinnamon schnapps from Switzerland, apple pucker, and a splash of pineapple juice. Once again, for all these shooters, we're going to shake and strain. And you'll notice with the applesauce, there'll actually be little gold flakes floating around. Can you guess why? Yeah, it's because of Goldschlager. Goldschlager actually has 24 karat gold flakes in there that you actually drink, so you're actually drinking gold. That's your applesauce. The next one we're going to learn is the Kamikaze. Now the Kamikaze is a very popular shooter. This is your lime flavored shooter. Calls for a full ounce of vodka, so it's going to have a nice kick to it. 1/2 ounce of triple sec and a 1/2 ounce of sweetened lime juice. Just like the rest of these shooters, it's going to go into the shaker tin. We're going to shake and strain. And your Kamikaze will have a little lightish green tint, just like that. and it's gonna have that nice kick of alcohol because it does call for a full ounce of vodka, so it does some damage too. You gotta be careful for those ones. Next one we're gonna learn is the Mind Eraser. This is a second column, second drink down on page 35. This is actually a very popular drink. For the Mind Eraser, this is gonna be the only shooter that we don't shake and strain. In fact, we're gonna fill with ice. Now, when it comes to the Mind Eraser, it has the same exact ingredients as your Black Russian. Once again, we're gonna use the vodka and the Kahlua, and it has the same counts. 3-count Kahlua, 5-count vodka, or 1 1/4, 3/4 ounce. And we're gonna fill with soda water. Now, if you've never done a Mind Eraser before, let me grab a straw here. The proper way to do the Mind Eraser is to get 2 long straws, and you're gonna put this all the way down to the vodka and the Kahlua. What's going on here? The vodka and the Kahlua naturally mix at the bottom, and that soda water kind of layers on top as it would like the milk in a White Russian. But we use 2 straws because it's still considered a shot, so we want to drink this one down as fast as possible, so it's still considered a shooter. To do the Mind Eraser, you're probably gonna be doing this one with a bunch of a group or some friends. Probably not gonna, kind of like a social shot. You're not gonna be finding yourself doing this on your own. Maybe you might. The proper way to do the Mind Eraser is you're gonna bend upside down, and the bartender will say go, and you start drinking, and the first thing you get is a vodka and the Kahlua, and the soda water is gonna follow. And when you come up, you kind of get lightheaded after drinking all the vodka, Kahlua, and the soda water makes your eyes bubbly, and that's why we call it the Mind Eraser. So, very fun concept drink, very important that you have the 2 straws there to make the shooter work. All right, let's learn the White Gummy Bear. A very popular one here. Once again, back to the shaken and strain. So this one calls for the rocks glass without ice. We're gonna be using a raspberry vodka along with peach schnapps. It's gonna go 3-count of each. Also for this one, we're gonna use a splash of 7-Up and a little bit of that sweetened lime juice. Shake and strain like the rest of these shooters. You have yourself the White Gummy Bear. And in fact, kind of looks like the White Gummy Bear. It'll smell and taste just like that White Gummy Bear. All right, let's learn the 3 wise men. Now the 3 wise men is on the top of page 36, on the first column, top drink. This is probably one of those shooters that you're gonna serve what we call straight up or neat. You know, we wanna make it as harsh as possible for the drinker to enjoy this one, or maybe not to enjoy it. Maybe it's one of your best friend's birthday and you wanna get them really drunk. So you get them a 3 wise men, because it has Scotch, bourbon, and whiskey. So we're gonna use Scotch, bourbon, and whiskey, Jack and Beam for our whiskey and bourbon. And for the Scotch, I can use a Johnny Walker. That looks like I got some red label here. And once again, you just want to serve it straight out of the bottle like that, because now it makes it really harsh for the drinker, and when you go give it to your friend for their birthday, when they go to take the shot, they're gonna make that alcohol-y face, like really hot. On the rare occasion, you will have an individual that likes this drink, so you'll actually serve it into a snifter, just like that. On the rare occasion.